Okay, symptoms of infertility. Yes, again, another fabulous question and another huge subject. So, symptoms. There's a lot of symptoms. Okay, so we can go from the personal symptoms of stress, our negative mind talk, our worries, our woes, and things that are happening internally. Those can all be huge symptoms of infertility. And then, of course, there's the more physiological symptoms of infertility. So I've just got some notes here. So we can have a lot of ovulation disorders, which can be caused basically by a lot of hormonal problems, hormonal imbalances. Then we've got pelvic inflammatory disease, also known as PID. That can be lots of scarring, potential blockages caused by infections and things like that. Then other issues are endometriosis. That can be quite uncomfortable, and also something that can be sorted out with going to see the doctor for fertility. We have a lot of different health conditions as well. We can also have something called estrogen dominance, where we might have very high estrogen levels as well. We have lots of different hormone imbalances. There can be uterus imbalances and abnormalities. There can be uterine fibroids. There can be polycystic ovarian syndrome as well. That can be very high or elevated sort of male hormones. Our fallopian tubes can be blocked. We can also have a very low amount of follicles and an abnormal amount of womb lining. So there's lots of different things that can go wrong, and of course that's all happening inside our body. Now, luckily, all of these things can be attended to, they can be looked at, and they can be definitely helped so that we can create what we want. But there's all these different things, and that's why it's always very good to go and see the doctor, get yourself on a great sort of fertility program within the doctor, with a doctor of fertility, or in a fertility clinic. And then with that, because there's so much playing going on in the mind, it's good to have some support with that. Not only with your family, but sometimes somebody that's not part of the family that can have a really objective view. So that's where I tend to sort of come in. It's helping people that have been trying after some time and it's not happening. They're realizing that possibly they're going to have to look at intervention, but before that, what else is there? But they're needing that emotional support as well as physical support to help them through it, because it's a huge thing. It opens up so much stuff. And again, we can have stuff that's happened in the past, stuff that's happened from when we were a kid. I've got some clients, parents were alcoholics. I've had some clients where there's been abuse. I've had some clients where there's been death when they were very young by parents. So all sorts of stuff can happen way back there in the past, and again can have a big impact of when we're trying to then have a child. So there's lots of stuff going on up here in the mind, and then heaps of stuff that can also be happening inside the body. And that's, again, all part of that marvelous journey to help us become physically, mentally healthy to deal with this journey that we go through. So yes, has that answered that question on the symptoms of fertility? Yeah. Oh, and a big thing as well is when we keep trying so hard, there's a lot of grief that comes with that, because we're so desperate to have this little being that just isn't coming no matter how hard we try. And there's a lot of grief. I find I deal with heaps and heaps of grief and loss as well. We can get very confused, we can feel hostile, we can get very jealous. We see lots of other women out there with little babies, and this emotion comes up that we never even realized existed. And we don't always understand it even about ourselves. Where did this come from? But it's there, and it becomes so real and palpable. We become very analytical, and as I was saying, OCD. We can be there charting our whole cycle, and we chart it to such a degree it takes over our whole life and mind, and everything else seems to pale into insignificance. And there comes to be such a overbalance of what's actually the reality here. So there's lots of stuff that can be the symptoms of infertility, and it can feel like you're going a little bit crazy actually. But again, all is not lost. There's always help. But yeah, some of the symptoms of infertility there.